Donald Trump is losing it as Iran has hit yet another ship trying to exit the Strait of Hormuz without IRGC permission. Let me repeat that. Iran has struck yet another ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Also, we're getting confirmation that Iran hit several targets in Bahrain following the United States military launching additional operations yesterday after the markets closed against the areas of Sirak and Qashem in Iran by the Strait of Hormuz. Here's what we've learned moments ago. There was a UK MTO advisory, that's the UK Maritime Trade Operations Advisory, saying that a tanker was hit by an unidentified projectile, damaging the ship's bridge. We then learned that it was a laden Panama-flagged VLCC carrying Qatar Energy oil, likely heading to Japan, and it was using a route that was being promoted by the United States to avoid the IRGC-administered route in the Strait of Hormuz. The IRGC, Iran, previously warned all of these tankers, all of these cargo ships, if you do that, you will not have your safety guaranteed, and we reserve the right to target you because Article 5 of the Memorandum of Understanding very clearly says that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, that administration of the Strait of Hormuz lies with Iran and Oman, that it will be free for 60 days, and thereafter Iran and Oman, working with other Arab nations, can work on a fee administration or however they want to deal with it. So we've learned more about this ship that was just hit by Iran. It's a Greek-registered oil tanker, the Kiku, which was and is sailing with its AIS switched off right there. As I noted as well, we're also learning that Iran was able to successfully strike targets in Bahrain following the United States strikes on Qashem and Sirak. I'll show you this map right here where you can see the Iran passageway through the Strait of Hormuz right there. You see Larak Island right there. The United States, in order to try to violate the MOU, has been telling ships, use our route. You see the United States route in blue. You see the Iranian routes right here in the red. And Iran warned, you use those blue routes, that's outside of the Memorandum of Understanding, and we reserve the right to strike and disable your ships. And Iran just did that again. And after the United States then struck Iran yesterday after the markets closed, because of course Trump wanted to manipulate the markets, then Iran also hit United States military targets in Bahrain. So let's take a look right now at the latest satellite imagery from the Strait of Hormuz, and you'll see after Iran just hit that Panama-flagged VLCC, you'll see that all of the traffic right now has shut down in Oman's lane. There's quite literally no ships going in that United States-backed Omani lane, as it's being referred to, and all of these ships right here are now going through the IRGC lane. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is not backing down to the Trump regime's post-market close attacks against Iran. Iran has made it very clear. You want to go to war with us? We are ready for war. We see right here the French-owned CMA CGM Galapagos right here. This is a French-backed ship transiting the Strait of Hormuz using the Iran-designated safe route right now. You see the Galapagos ship right there. Following the Iran route, Iran is letting these ships know this is the only way you will be able to leave the Strait of Hormuz. Do not listen to the United States. And now we're seeing some compliance there with that French ship and all the other ships right there. So what's Donald Trump doing in response? Donald Trump is posting memes of himself draped in an American flag. It's an AI image where he holds the entire world on his shoulders. This is the malignant, narcissistic psychopath that he is. This is what he's doing this morning. I mean, he is a real sicko. The real AI image should be literally him destroying the world, ripping it apart, and causing most of the pain and suffering that exists in the world. He is truly a vile creature. He also posts the following image of the UFC fight with American aircrafts flying over the White House more wasting of our taxpayer dollars right there. He posts this Babylon Bee parody headline: Cubans living in New York City begin boarding rafts to escape communism again. That's like the Trump regime and MAGA Republicans line heading into the midterms, that they're the biggest threat facing America is communists who are there to assassinate and kill everybody. And we can't have rent stabilization and we can't have affordability because that's communism. And we need to get the communists before they get us, because all these communists want affordable everything and they want free health care and they want everything. So we'll label Democrats communists while Donald Trump literally takes control of businesses and crashes our economy and literally ruins everything he touches. The guy can't even run the 250th American State Fair. He's turned something that was the lightest of light lifts to turn into a great event, and he's absolutely destroyed it. Checking in on Trump's Great American Fire Festival. I mean, Great American Fire. By the way, you know my background before I started MeidasTouch, when I used to be a litigator. From 2010 to 2022 or so, I was litigating. But back in 2017 or 2018, I was the person who led the class action against Fire Festival. I was the person who exposed what went down. So I have a little experience here. And it's ironic, when I was in the Hulu documentary, whenever that was, 2018, 2019, about Fire Festival during the first Trump term, I said that there's a Fire Festival happening every day in the White House in 2018, 2019. Go back and watch that Hulu doc. That was an exact quote from 2018. But okay, checking in on Trump's Great American Fire Festival, play this clip. That can't be all that's it. Let's pan out and see more of what's going on there. Let's pan out, as Jim Stewartson says. This regime is such a bizarre, tragic comedy. It's tragic for the American people. This could have been such an actually great event where there could have been representation from all of the states and we've been to carnivals before. I don't know what the hell this is, but this is what everything Trump touches is crap, is bankrupt, is the worst. Here, play this clip.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are Cirque Mechanics. We're all the way from Las Vegas, really excited to be here with the National Endowment for the Arts on the Mall for the 250th. We're going to start it off with Ozzy and the drum.
I told you, and so, as the Trump regime continues to violate the MOU every which way, tries to create its own shipping lanes, tries to, again, attacks Iran. Donald Trump threatens to invade Iran. I mean, he violates every term of the MOU all the time. But as I've been saying too, and I did a video on this morning, Marco Rubio was in the Middle East to specifically undermine the MOU. And what Marco Rubio did at the end of this week by brokering a framework separate MOU. So there's the MOU between the United States and Iran. And then what was announced was an MOU framework between the Lebanon government, Israel, and the United States. And the Lebanon MOU is in direct contradiction of the Iran MOU, because literally Article 1 of the Iran MOU basically says Israel needs to get out of Lebanon and there needs to be a full and permanent ceasefire in Lebanon. And if you go and you look at the Lebanon-Rubio MOU with Israel, it basically says that Israel stays inside a security zone for an indefinite period of time. And it creates these pilot zones where the Lebanese army starts to go into. But it basically, the Lebanese-Israeli US MOU basically legitimizes Israel being inside of Lebanon, and Hezbollah was not a signatory to that or didn't even participate in the discussion. As Sohrab Amrari says, the MOU and the new Lebanese MOU deal are mutually contradictory. The Iran MOU with the U.S. and the Lebanese-Israel-U.S. deal are contradictory, and that was on purpose. Rubio's goal was to undermine the Iran MOU. That was the goal. Whether you support or oppose the Iran MOU, it doesn't matter. I'm not making a prescriptive argument one way or another, so Rob says. These are two documents going in the opposite direction. And if you look at Article 13, for example, in the Lebanese MOU, here's what it says. In line with their shared goals to establish stable and peaceful relations, Israel and Lebanon commit to take good faith measures that demonstrate positive intent, including the cessation of all hostile or adverse actions in international political or legal fora, and pledge to work towards the search for and return of the remains and the release of detainees. The language right here, cessation of all hostile or adverse actions in international political or legal fora, that refers to the international criminal courts and regarding Netanyahu, and it records to any kind of accountability for the harm that was caused, the devastation, the destruction, obliteration of Beirut that was done by Netanyahu. So I just want to flag that as well. David Fromm writes the following. Few of us have access to full information on how Trump lost the Iran war, but we can all see the fiasco Trump has made of the 250th anniversary celebrations. Watching Trump fail at something this easy helps illustrate why he was doomed to mess up anything difficult. He can't handle anything he does. He turns into an oddity and he destroys. I want to share this with you as well. Even the way Donald Trump's handled FIFA. Notice, in these cities that Donald Trump hates, Seattle and Los Angeles, right? And others. I mean, that's where we're seeing the joy of the cities and the people bring this joy to FIFA, despite what Donald Trump and FIFA have actually done themselves. I mean, we have Iran's football or soccer captain, Mehdi Tarami, confirmed that Iran was forced to fly back to Tijuana after that horrible call where they called the guy offsides when Iran actually should have won the game, in my opinion. But in any event, they were hoping to stay in Seattle for the night to get rest and to sleep, but the U.S. forced them to get on a plane and fly to Tijuana right after that game. As Sina Tusi says, the treatment of Iran's national team at this World Cup has been a total disgrace. They've been handicapped by the start by petty U.S. travel restrictions and have faced egregious officiating failures. Even so, they played with the heart and were robbed yesterday against Egypt. And I'll just show you what the Iran captain had to say. He was asked a lot of questions like, well, what do you think about LGBT people? Here, play this clip.
But we respect all of the LGBT people. That's their own idea. It's not about us. We are here to play football. We respect all of those guys. If you have a question about the game, I will answer.
And here's what he also had to say about the World Cup in general. He goes, it's just unfair the way, they've been treating us. Here, play this clip.
It's about our opinion, because now we have traveled again going to Tijuana again. So without recovery, without nothing, it's not fair. But by our opinion, it's not fair. If is it fair for the FIFA? Okay, good to them. But it's not fair. Who wants to help us? Who? We don't have recovery. We don't have any logistic people here to help us. We always complain about these things, but no one helps. No one.
You complained about about the travel, but the review, 2 straight games with the VAR by a centimeter. When you watch the replay, your thoughts on the VAR taking away 2 goals in 2 games?
That's about the football.
Sure.
But we complain about outside the football, because which is the details important in the football. As you know, recovery is the important things, and small details affect the football.
I'll leave you with this message right here that was posted by Iran as they left another handwritten note in their dressing room after the Egypt game in Seattle. We come from Iran, from a land that for thousands of years has place and honor above victory. For us, football is not only a competition for results, it is a test of character. Perhaps points can be won in many ways, but respect cannot. Perhaps a team can advance from a group, but only through fairness and honor can one stand tall before history. Fair play is not just a line in football rules, it is the soul of the game. Thank you, Seattle, for your hospitality, and thank you to all Iranians who gave their hearts, their voices, and their whole being for Iran. Iran always standing tall. #hero. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. We appreciate you.
New Meidas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.meidastouch.com.